There we go. Josh, thanks for the sub. Let's get this up here. All right. All right, all right, all right. What's going on? What is this? Isn't my playlist. This is my playlist. Don't worry, we'll get to answering everything in a second. This is the latest Rufus model. The latest totals from the National Weather Service are pretty crazy. The expected amounts have been going up. I mean, everything, you know, you need to get lucky for these to happen, these nor'easters, and everything's been going in the right direction for once. It's been quite a while. Expected totals are way up here, as you can see. High ends are out of control. High end totals are out of control. So, yeah. Yeah, I think the New York, I think expected totals are actually going to go up. Expected, I'll show you expected right now, but I actually, and I'm not just saying this, I actually do think these are going to go up. I'd be shocked if Philly only ended up with 4 inches. But you're seeing this is weird. It's showing like 6 to 8 inches everywhere circling Philly. I don't think we're going to have... There's going to be some city heating effect in, you know, in Philly. Urban heat island. But, yeah, Philly's going to get more than 4 inches. I expect these totals to go up. Now, I don't know about the high end here. Although, the way things have been trending... I'm not going to, like, throw this in the trash because there is a possibility for this at this point. There is the everything is shifted west. The low is deepening on all of our models. Everything that you would want to happen if you want a major nor'easter, major snow up the I-95 corridor, everything you would want to happen has been happening over the last 48 hours. It's been pretty beautiful to see. I mean, look at this. Look at the latest run. This is our... Look at this. Look at this. You got a hurricane. Look at this. It's like a hurricane off the coast. There's your eye. There's your eye. I'm half joking because it is. It's a bombed out low pressure. We could have a 965 to 970 millibar low pressure here. That's like equivalent to a Cat 2 hurricane. So, yeah. Kind of not lying. All right. Pretty impressive stuff. I'm going to let some more people get in here and we're going to get started. Boston, yeah, Boston's looking pretty crazy too. I mean, we could take a look at the latest totals. Like I said, I actually expect them to these expected totals to continue to rise. We'll take a look at the Northeast here. Let's just do Northeast in general. Northeast. Boston, 9 inches expected. Again, I would push that up. High end for Boston. 20 inches. Yeah. Again, I'm expecting these totals to actually go up. Just based on what we've been seeing, I think they're gonna go up a little bit. A little bit. Someone's gonna this it's just looking so good. I'm nervous because now I'm starting to get hyped for you guys. Because everything's been looking so good, and I gotta compose myself a little bit and make sure we're staying honest here when we're reviewing this. $2 super chat from Joey. I appreciate you. What do you think about Lehigh Valley? Well, your totals have continued to go up. 6+ inches looks good for you now, but we could be getting more than that. Yep, we already got winter storm watches. Winter storm watches. All up and down here. Southern Connecticut, pushing through New York. Long Island, Hudson Valley, Lehigh Valley, all of New Jersey. You got Philly down here. Maryland, Delaware. And then up here through portions of Appalachia, Appalachian Mountain Range, stretching from West Virginia up through west central Pennsylvania. New York City afoot? It's possible. B, what's going on? Marissa, what's going on? Jasmine, what's going on? How much snow do I think Delaware will get? All right, let's take a look at. We can dive into some of this. I am expecting, like I said, totals to begin to change, but let's start to take a look at some of these models. Let's take a look at what's been happening today. First off, because we've had quite the progression. $2 super chat from Kyle. Blizzard warning for Long Island. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to get blizzard warnings across Long Island or New Jersey. At this point, you could almost, I'm close to saying expect them. Appreciate that, Kyle. Joshua, $5 super chat. Elmer, New Jersey. What do I think? Let's see. Where's Elmer, New Jersey? Elmer, New Jersey. I wouldn't be surprised if we got more than a foot. Although if we get the winds that we could get down there, that could really blow that snow around. I wouldn't be surprised if we got more than a foot at this point. We'll go over if you could see more than that. What's going on, mods? $5 super chat. Oh my God, another one. You guys are going crazy right now. $5 super chat from Louis. How much do you think that'll work? Could get, wait, what? How much do you think that'll work could get of snow? Okay, yep, you got to correct that. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Same with you, Joshua. I really appreciate the support, guys. Yeah, let me, wait. Am I reading that wrong? Let's see here. Syracuse? I mean, you guys are going to get some snow. The bulk of this snow is going to be to your south, though. You guys got a little bit of snow today, right? You still have some snow moving over. You have a little bit on the back end still. How much snow is left for Syracuse? How about Central New Jersey and Lakewood? Yeah, we're getting into the time. I mean, we're 48 hours out, so I'd like to look at the National Weather Service forecast. Again, I'll let you know if I disagree with it. I do think that the National Weather Service's expected is actually too low at this point. I think this is too low, the expected amount. Central New Jersey, they have about 9 inches. I'm thinking you guys are going to get over a foot with what we're seeing here. I really am. I think the next update in the probabilistic precipitation portal from the National Weather Service is going to put these expected totals up. I would. Could the Baltimore area get a foot? Tough back there. I think on the high end you get like 8 inches. What's their high end for Baltimore? They have Baltimore 16 inches on the high end. Hey, I mean, National Weather Service is giving you a chance. Entire students today. Oh wait, there it is. How much show do you think we could? Yeah, tell them I say what's up. I love that. I got you. 1 second. I appreciate the $5 super chat, Audrey. Always. You didn't have to donate another $10 for that. Louis, I appreciate the super chat again. How much show do you think we could get in Delaware? I fixed it. Yeah, let's take a look at Delaware. We have some questions about Delaware. Again, expected totals here. We're talking anywhere from 5 to, we'll say, 8 inches of snow across Delaware. You're going to want to be in central and northern Delaware to get more snow. I wouldn't even say central to northern Delaware. I'd say far southwestern Delaware could be the one area that underperforms, in my opinion, where our snow is going to really start to crank up along the coast and to the north. So, but I feel like there's not really much in southwestern Delaware, right? Everyone's out here near the coast or in North Delaware anyways. So I think you're all looking pretty good. I would push these totals up. Along the coast of Delaware and in northern Delaware. We're seeing 6 inches now. I think it's realistic. We could see 7 to 9, 7 to 10 inches in that area. We take a look at the high end. I don't know that we're going to get 2.5 feet into Delaware, or over 2 feet into Delaware, like the high end says. But high end, I think there is a world where you get like over 14 inches of snow in Delaware. But again, my expected would be closer 7 to 10 inches. Maybe 8 to 11. I appreciate you guys. $5 super chat from Kev. You have a college, Brick, New Jersey. I got you in a second, Jay. I'm a college student right by Trenton. Do you think I could have a snow day Monday? Yes. Last time we had no school. What's the timing of the storm? Sunday night into Monday morning. You'll probably, I would prepare to not have school Monday, maybe Tuesday as well. Kev, I appreciate the super chat. Brick, New Jersey. This thing would have to now really trend far east for you guys to not get pretty big snow as well into Trenton. Let's see. Where's Brick? Brick, New Jersey. All right, out here. Yeah, right now. All right, so Central New Jersey. Central New Jersey. That makes it much easier. Again, I would probably push these totals up a little bit out here. 10 inches. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys got 14, 15 plus. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. We're seeing a lower pressure. We're seeing more of a tilt. Here's the latest Euro. And this thing pumps all the way down to, holy smokes, 974, sitting not too far off the coast. This is a 974 millibar low. This all is inch to inch and a half an hour snow. Okay? And it's going to be snowing for a while. Okay, we could have that heavy of snow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours straight, plus a little bit of snow ahead of it, plus snow behind it. Maybe more than that, actually. So really quickly, taking a look at the last Euro, how has this progressed? Let's see here. Let's go back here. Oh, we actually had a tick back east on the 18Z of the Euro. Nothing too worrisome because the model before that, it was east again. So the Euro has gone east, west, west. So it's just wobbling back and forth. Actually, no. No, never mind. The latest Euro ticked west. I'm completely lying to you. It ticked west. Yeah, it trended west. Crazy. It trended west. That's crazy. Yeah, they all trended west. Yeah, I literally made a post about this. They all trended west. I was like, I guess I read that wrong, but no, I was just using my mouse wrong. They all trended west. This is insane. I mean, I was praying for more big snow into Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, your expected out there isn't crazy anymore, unfortunately. This storm is just really going to be, especially as it deepens out here near the coast, it's pulling in all of that moisture, and you're going to be suffocated with dry air out there in Pittsburgh, unfortunately. I'm still looking for where the dry slot's going to be out here on the latest Euro, and you're not seeing as much. But again, if we are really going to get down to a 974 here, you could get full snow wrapped around and not have a dry slot. But I still feel like somewhere in here, maybe through here, I don't know. I still feel like somewhere in here is going to get a dry slot, and it's hard to tell where. It's hard to tell where. But if this is deep enough, we could really, really just see. You can see here, if this thing deepens enough, real, like, true nor'easters a lot of times won't have that happen. Philly totals expect it right now. They have, like, they expect it at 5 inches. I'd expect Philly to get at a minimum 7 to 8. At a minimum, I think they're going to get more than that, though. As long as these trends continue. With the latest data that we're looking at, it's looking good. Long Island high end. Get ready for this. We have portions of Long Island being projected at 24 and a half, 25 inches on the high end. From the National Weather. That's official from the National Weather Service. Here. Even up here, 21 inches. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. How's Rhode Island Monday? Rhode Island's looking pretty spicy. Expect it 10 to 13. On the high end, you guys are pushing 2 feet of snow. I'd say not too bad. Boston, high end 20 inches. Low end 8 to 10. I think I'd push up the expected out there in Boston as well. Can we see the GFS? Sure. There's we're in the short range. The GFS is probably the okay. I'm gonna say it nicely. The GFS is the silliest model to look at right now because it's a global model, and it's not it's a top 3 global model. That's not saying much, but once we have short range models, 10 kilometer models, 2.5 kilometer models, 2 kilometer models, The GFS is not one you really want to look at. But if you want to have some fun, it's always fine to look at the GFS. So let's just have some fun. Let's just have some fun and see the ridiculousness. There you go. It's basically exactly what the National Weather Service high end is thinking. It's saying if the GFS happens. No, but yeah, Northern Delaware, 26 inches on the GFS. You've got 22 inches in the Philly on the GFS. New Jersey is like the lowest total in New Jersey is 16 inches, 16 to 24 inches. New York City sitting at like 24 inches. I wouldn't expect this to happen, 30 inches into Boston, but that's pretty much what the high end, what National Weather Service is saying is the high end for us. The best thing we could probably look at right now is the experimental national blend. And I would take this and I would say, in my opinion, let's start back here. Okay, now we're just going to go snow total. In my opinion, these totals are going to be a little bit actually higher in some areas, higher than the national blend. I think we have this swath. I'm a little nervous about DC. I'm not nervous about Baltimore, believe it or not. But we have a swath of 6 inches to 10 inches from DC all the way up to New York City here through Eastern PA, through Trenton up to New York City. And I think that could really be closer to 8 to 14 inches through here. Again, I think we could see 15 inches on the Long Island. I think we could see 15 to 18 out in Jersey. We could see more. I'm just trying to give more of a perspective, but this is pretty good to look at. This is a crazy aggressive national blend. Let's look at our other one. Here is the 2.5 kilometer national blend. I can't believe the national blend is showing this right now. This is the blend of all of our models and all of their members. This should be giving us a safe average, a conservative. This should be giving us what is a conservative number for snow. And we're showing 16 inches into Philly. And we're showing 19 inches into New York City. And we're showing 20 inches into the Jersey Shore. And we're showing 16 inches into North Delaware. And we're showing 10 inches to a foot in a DC Baltimore. This is supposed to be our conservative look right here. This is our conservative look. I think the Euro's got to be more conservative than this, right? Okay. All right, let's go to 2-day. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look. Okay, I feel more comfortable with this, but I think the Euro is a little bit wrong again about this area. I think this area fills in with good snow. But I think the Euro is a little low. I think the Euro is a little low. I think the GFS is a little high. I can't believe the national blend is showing like 16 to 20 inches up and down the I-95 corridor, because that is supposed to be conservative for us, a conservative model. I know, Josh. Yeah, Joshua said 20 inches isn't conservative. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, so that makes me really want to go model to model right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think we need to look like model to model. This is the NAM 3K. It might look like there's not a lot of snow, but we've still got like 8 hours of snow left here. Look, let's take a look at where the snow is when this stops. It's snowing heavy, so we can't see far enough yet. Let's go to the NAM 12K. Okay, let's take a look at the national blend is seeing something crazy. We're going to have some fun here for a second. I'm going to take questions, but we need to look at panels, because for the national blend to be that aggressive, oh my good golly. Whoa. Let's go back to the 00Z. This was the NAM yesterday, and then the snow was running off the coast here. That was the NAM yesterday. Everyone, that was the NAM yesterday. Let's update it. Let's move 24 hours less. Let's move less than 24 hours forwards. Are you ready? Let's move 18 hours forward. Now, I hate the NAM. Anyone who follows me knows it's trash. Here's the thing what the NAM does a lot, though. The NAM will not... Why I don't like the NAM is it almost always is the outlier model that doesn't work out. Sometimes it does, but usually, more often than not, it doesn't work out. It's not an outlier right now. It's agreeing. The NAM agreeing the NAM agreeing with all the other models makes me weirdly feel like we're going to see a huge high-end event here, because the NAM is always an outlier. It's not an outlier. And the NAM is usually not just an outlier with where it puts the snow. All winter and the last winter, a lot of times it underestimates the snow as well. It's putting the highest numbers I've seen, and it's agreeing with all our other models. So very interesting stuff here. I look at models like a lot, and I've looked at them for years. Like, I understand how these models are supposed to usually reflect compared to other models, and the NAM completely agreeing with the location of the snow here with the GFS and with some of our other models and the Canadian, not as far out west, but in this region, it's crazy. Okay, so the Rufus is a terrible snow model. But we'll take a look at the latest Rufus. Still very impressive here, obviously. Let's look. Again, here's the latest from the National Weather Service. Now, this is... Actually, let's go back here. This is their expected, not high-end. And again, this is probably going to start to push way up, because I think they're going to come out with an update that's reflecting what all of our latest models have been showing us. What is our Canadian doing? Let's take a look here. Let's go total Puchera. There's our Canadian. Our Canadian isn't being too crazy down here. The Canadian isn't being too wild down here. Interesting. Let's take a look at this on the reflectivity. Although the Canadian's last update was before a lot of the major shifts west. And what I mean by that is the 00Z on the Canadian comes out, or the 12Z on the Canadian comes out at like 9 a.m. And we've seen a lot of major developments since then. Okay, so here's the Canadian. Okay. Obviously, we know the GFS and Euro are putting some good snow down. European AI 18. I don't know if I saw the European AI 18Z. All right. Wow. I think that shifted west again from the last run. Let me just confirm that. All right, let's see. Oh, yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. Look at that shift. Oh, my gosh. Beautiful. All right, I'll get to your questions, guys, in a second. Oh, my gosh. We went from last run. The European AI has been the best performing snow model this season, by the way. If you want to know what model has been the most accurate this winter, not by a ton, but this has been the most accurate. It's this model, and let's look at the last run and then the most updated run. Philly went from 7 inches to 12.5. DC and Baltimore went from 5 inches to 8 inches, almost 9. New York City went from 9 to 14. Long Island went from 11 to 15. The Jersey Shore went from 14 to 18. Boston went from 16 to 20. Big notable shift west from our best performing model thus far. Look at that. Look at that shift. Unbelievable. Okay. Anyways, with that out of the way, I'm going to keep refreshing the probabilistic precipitation portal, because I think they're going to push up their expected snow totals soon at the next update. And I think it's going to be quite significant. We're just see blizzard warnings up and down the coast here. All right. Let me zoom out. See if I can answer some more questions. I did explain, I guess I won't do it here, but I did explain, which I thought some people might find interesting, why this is happening and why this is looking so good. Simply put, here's our moisture. Here's what's providing our moisture. Here's what's providing our cold air. Very heavy. I'd say Arctic air, but it's very heavy cold air. Collapsing into our moisture down here, into our southern piece of energy. And this is forcing it to tilt. Imagine this is like a seesaw, right? And the seesaw is sitting like this, right? And this isn't fully down at the ground, right? And something comes and lands on the seesaw. The seesaw is going to go up from this to like this, right? It's going to tilt even more. That's what this cold air, that's what this piece of energy from the north is doing to our trough, to our storm. It's falling on the back edge of it, right? It's cutting off the short wave, and it's putting pressure on the back end edge of this trough, and it's causing our jet stream to suddenly tilt. So now, instead of our storm running right off the coast like it was supposed to, it's actually now running straight through or straight up off the coast of the mid-Atlantic and New England. And not only that, but because now you're getting this cold air injection and the storm system moving to the north, you now have cold air rapidly moving into the back of the storm. You get a temperature gradient because you have warm air out ahead of the storm, and this temperature gradient causes mass divergence in the mid to upper layers of the troposphere. Temperature gradients cause steeper your temperature gradient, the steeper your pressure gradient. Your air particles in the mid to upper layers of your atmosphere start to run away from each other, and it creates a vacuum. And it sucks all the moisture up into that vacuum, and you get rapid cloud formation, and you get a storm. And this piece of cold air is falling on our piece of energy to the south just perfectly. Just perfectly. If I wrote it out myself, I would probably have this piece of energy here, and I'd probably have this one right here, just like it is. Tilt it like a seesaw, run it up the coast, let it bomb out. I hope some of you liked that explanation. Audrey, $2 super chat. How much snow when temps, now let me answer questions. How much snow when temps aren't freezing in Delaware? Well, let's take a look at that because that's a good point. And the initial snow is not going to accumulate right away because of surface temperatures. So let's push back out here. Connor, where's your YouTube handle? It's just Connor's Climate Corner. It's the same on all platforms. Let's see here. Let's take a look at surface temperatures while it's snowing. Chances of the storm is just going to the fishes? 0. There's a 0 chance we don't get snow out in the mid-Atlantic and New England from this. The question is the totals. This is not going to be a fish storm. Not going to be a fish storm. Yep. Thanks, Josh. What ratio do you think is possible? Well, let's take a look at that now. This is going to be important for everyone. This is going to be important for everyone. 1 second. All right. Here we go. Okay, so here let's look at our snow here. Okay, so let's look at when we begin snowing. Here we go, and we could take a look at a sounding here in a second as well, which would help me. But we're snowing here. What are our surface temperatures? Okay, so we're below freezing. Let's see where we're below freezing here. You've got 33 degrees in here. All right, so we're below freezing everywhere there. Still a little warm in this area here, or we're freezing or below. The good news is, if you notice here, there's not really a warm head with this. You get a little bit right there, but as this, you'll see the temperatures drop quickly here as we push into Monday morning. And actually, they don't drop too rapidly there. They drop pretty rapidly up to the north, but not down here in Maryland. So you're going to get close to a snow. You're going to get close to a 10-1 ratio. And you actually see a little bit of a brief warm up too, but then you get very cold air in after. So your snow will stick around. Yeah, here you go. You get very cold air. So that snow will stick around after the storm moves out. So this is probably going to be a 10-1 ratio. Thing is, it doesn't really matter because you're probably going to get some of these areas a ridiculous amount. I mean, you could get 2 inches of precipitable water. 10-1 ratio, that's 20 inches of snow. There's so much moisture content with this. If you don't have a lot of moisture, you want to be cold because you want a good snow ratio. It's not really going to matter too much with this. Not worried about warm air aloft either, guys. I'm not worried about warm air aloft. As soon as this happens here, I'm not worried about warm air aloft because this is just far enough. You're actually kind of lucky here because of the temperatures that the low is here and not here. Because you can get nor'easters where it's here and you get a little bit of warm air out ahead of it, and it really screws with your snow. This is far enough off the coast. Your air aloft is actually going to be well below freezing, even if your surface air. You could actually probably start snowing here at 35 degrees because I think your temperatures aloft are going to be cold. It snowed here. We were supposed to get 1 or 2 inches of snow. We were supposed to get 1 or 2 inches of snow here in Minneapolis, 1 to 3 inches of snow here in Minneapolis a couple days ago. We got almost 8.5 inches, and it's because it started snowing and accumulating here when it was 36 degrees. You're going to have cold air aloft just like we had. No, I'm not saying it's going to start snowing and accumulating at 36 degrees, but I wouldn't be too nervous about being floating around 34, 33 when it starts snowing. Because your snow is, that melt won't even start until it hits the surface. It's going to fall as snow. As that snow hits the surface and melts in the beginning, it's going to cool the ground rapidly. So I'm not too concerned with the temperatures. Again, the moisture content is crazy. And just to show you that, look at this. Okay, this is precipitable water. Now we're looking at precipitable water. We're talking about a half inch to an inch running up the coast here. Look at this. Everyone's getting, I mean, the Jersey Shore here is seeing, yeah, I mean, an inch an hour of precipitable water for almost 2 hours there. That's a ton of snow if that happens. That's a ton of snow. Again, through portions, I mean, DC, Baltimore, you could see a period of a half inch of precipitable water an hour. And at a 10-to-1 ratio, that's, you're going to get a ton of snow. You're going to get a ton of snow. It wouldn't be a half inch of precipitable water an hour, but it'd be a ton of snow. So this is good. A lot of times you see with these snowstorms when it's really cold, you're only really like, you're getting like this. You're getting like a quarter inch. You're getting a tenth of an inch, but it's really cold, so you get a good snow ratio. This is heavy. This is heavy moisture. So I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good on that front. All right. Baltimore's forecast is like confused. I should do a segment where I ask everyone in chat, what does Apple Weather say? What does Apple Weather say? How much? Tell me, don't dox yourself if you don't want to. But yeah, like don't put your address in here. But tell me what city you live in and tell me if you want to. And tell me, what does Apple Weather say? How many inches are you going to get? Marissa, Jasmine B, Gigi. How do I say that? Jose Rodriguez, Pearly, Veronica NTX, Shell, Joshua, Shell, Derek, KJ, Jim. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's see. Okay, 12 to 15, Massachusetts. Maybe realistic. Richmond 1 to 3. It's the thing about Richmond is you could receive way more than that, but it's going to be a sharp cutoff. So that's an area that's actually really hard to tell. Okay, so. Let's see. New York City, 12. Apple Weather, actually, some of these aren't terrible for an expected, I think. I think New York City is going to see more than 6 to 10, if that's what yours says, Curry. Brooklyn, 2 to 5. There's no way. Scroll from Tuesday to Monday and add up the totals. Because remember, this starts Sunday, but moves. Scroll from Sunday to Monday and add up the totals. This starts Sunday and then snows into Monday. So you guys might have to add up 2 days. Listen, I'm proud of Apple Weather in this instance. I don't see anything that's too dumb. I don't see anything that's too dumb right now. Philly, 9 to 12. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Philly could get more than 9 to 12, but I'm okay with that. These are some of the best snow totals but make sure you guys are adding up both days. These are some of the best snow totals I've seen Apple Weather do ever. Now, you can't give them too much credit, right? It's like 30 hours out. I hope they can be somewhat accurate once we get this close, but... no one said we had to do math. Sorry. I know. Addition. DC 3 to 5. Yeah, I think that's a little bit low, but make sure you're adding up Sunday and Monday. Although most of the snow is going to fall Sunday, I think, in DC. I think DC is going to get more than that. Reading, PA, 5 to 9. Yeah, you guys are a little bit farther inland. I think that's fine. Wow, I'm impressed. Listen, I bash Apple Weather, but I think they're doing pretty good. Again, it's gonna start snowing in like 30 hours there, so I think it would have been funnier to look at the snow totals yesterday, but I think they're doing pretty good. Yeah, 2 to 5 Brooklyn. No, there's no way. That's way off. You guys are gonna get 10 more inches than that probably, or could get 10 more inches than that. Yeah, Philly area. It's saying 5 to 6 inches right now. I think that's NWS is gonna update this soon, and I'm waiting for the update because your high end. The difference between, okay, guys, this is going to be fun. I'll go over this because a lot of people have questions about this out here. The difference between a lot of your high end and low end snow totals are actually hilarious. Although your high end and expected snow totals, I'll say though, I do think they're going to push up a lot of these expecteds. I do think they're going to push up a lot of these expecteds, but let's go over some of these. So let's go over like Baltimore. Low end. Let me move my face. Okay. Low end, you guys get a trace of snow. High end, you guys get 15 inches. So anyone in Baltimore, nothing to 15 inches. You're going to get somewhere in there. Guys, I think you're going to get like 7 to 8, 7 to 9, but you could get more. And yeah. 8 to 10. A trace to 15 inches. I'm just going to tell you what they say. I have my own opinion. Washington, D.C. You're either going to get half an inch or 14 inches of snow. There you go. Trenton. You're... Please tell me you guys can read what the low and high end difference is in Trenton. It should be a crime. This should be a crime to put that as the low and high end. Trenton, you're going to basically get nothing or you're going to get 2 feet of snow. So, Trenton, plan accordingly. Plan to get nothing and plan to get 2 feet at the same time. Plan accordingly. That is hilarious. All right, let's look at New York City. Let's look at Queens. Anyone from Queens in here? Queens, you're either going to get a half inch of snow or 22 inches. This is ridiculous. This is what happens with nor'easters sometimes, though, because they're such powerful systems, and they have a tight area of extremely heavy snow, and if it wobbles at all at the last second, this can happen. Bronx. Here, let's look at the Bronx. You're either going to get half inch of snow or you're going to get 21 inches. Plan accordingly. Let's look at around the Brooklyn area. About the same. Let's look at portions here. Let's look at Montauk. Half inch to 20 inches. I feel like Boston's not going to be as crazy. Okay, these are the craziest low end to high end totals I've ever seen in my life. Atlantic City. I think this one breaks the record. You're either going to get a half inch of snow, Atlantic City, or you're going to get over 2 feet of snow. That one is up there, I got to say. Oh, my God. Toms River, New Jersey. We have anyone out in Toms River, New Jersey? Low end 1 inch, high end 28 inches. This is hilarious. Yeah. Look at the expected total. This is hilarious. These low and high ends are going to come together tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you. Let's look at Wilmington. Let's look at Northern Delaware. A half inch or 23 inches. Unbelievable. What's the high end out here in Richmond? I know we've had people in here in Richmond. Why can't I find Richmond? 5 inches, high end 0. Okay. That's not as crazy. Philadelphia, low end half an inch, high end 25 inches of snow. You heard that correctly. Let's look at an area of Rhode Island. Providence, 1 inch low end, 23 inches high end. Unbelievable. Let's look up here in Connecticut. The high end only 15 inches here. Low end 1 inch. All right. These are just hilarious to click on. Let's look at Newark. Half an inch low end, 22 inches high end. Unbelievable. All right, this is going to update soon. It's going to push them together, but I'm waiting for the expected snow totals to raise here because the expected snow totals very likely will. Very likely will. Do you want to look at Reading? Let's take a look at it. Reading. Low end, half an inch. High end, 17 inches of snow. You have to remember your high end is going to be closer to a 10% chance, but I actually think it's not a 10% chance in this case. I would put it closer to a 20 to 25% chance because I think they're going to raise the expected. Still not likely, but a 25% chance for some of these people to end up with 2 feet of snow or more. Someone's going to get it. We'll see. If I see any further trends west, maybe a lot of people get it. We'll see. Potentially biggest storm since 2021, New York City. Yeah, what was the one in 2021? How much snow did that drop? Where's Morganville? You got to give me a state, too, because there's probably a Morganville in every state in the country. Yeah, Baltimore low end, a trace, high end 15 inches. Unbelievable. Our snow just melted from the last monster storm. It's coming right back. You guys finally got that snow melt? I kept asking people in my streams, has your snow melted yet? Has your snow melted? And everyone in the East kept yelling at me like, you know it's been freezing here. And I'm like, I know. Finally, you guys have warmed up. 2021, a storm dropped like 12 inches. Oh, yeah. New York City. Man, your expected is 9 inches right now. I feel like New York City beats that, though. Listen, my prediction was actually 2 nor'easters this year. The last big snowstorm through here wasn't a nor'easter, but it was close. You got some good snow in Jersey, in Long Island, New York City, right? Like you got it wasn't amazing, but you guys are all at your averages or above your averages now. This looks like it's going to be a true nor'easter. But at least that's working for me. All right. What about northern Jersey? Take a look up here in the north. We'll take a look at some of these areas. Let's go way far northern Jersey. Inch low end, 16 inches high end. We go a little bit farther south. Inch low end, 20 inches high end. Yeah, Boston got hit big with that one. Yeah, Joshua. Boston got a big one. What, like 25 plus inches or so? Or it was like 22 or 23 inches, I think, in Boston. The big one this year, right? Something like that. Yeah. My opinion and thoughts on Philly. I'm thinking Philly pushes over 12 inches. I don't care that the expected total right now is 5 inches. I don't care. I'm disagreeing with the National Weather Service. And I'm dying on that hill. No, but I actually do expect the National Weather Service to update this. I think they just haven't updated with the latest model guidance. So I might not actually be disagreeing with the National Weather Service. I think they're going to update this. There's going to be a little bit of, there's going to be, I think, very cold air aloft. One thing that's going to really matter is this area specifically right in here is your surface temperatures are going to matter. Not because it's not going to snow, but because how many hours of snow hitting, it's going to be snowing before it's accumulating because it's going to hit the surface and immediately melt. How many hours? Is it 1 hour, 2, 3? I'm thinking it's only going to be about 1, maybe 30 minutes, or maybe 45 minutes to an hour. How long is it going to be before enough snow hits the ground that it chills enough and then we get the accumulation on top of it? Because if that does happen quickly, that snow's going to start stacking. Yes, exactly, Dan, man. Colder air in the atmosphere than on the surface. And that doesn't always happen. We don't always have cold air aloft. Sometimes the air above us is actually warmer than the surface air. And that's when you can get literal sleet when it's like 26 degrees outside and you're like, what the heck? Or it's 25 degrees out. You're like, what the heck? It's 25 degrees. Why is it raining? It's cool, warm air aloft. That's not likely to be a problem this time. With these type of conditions, you can have it snowing when it's 36 degrees, but it probably won't be accumulating. But what's good about that, if it starts snowing early when it's warm, is that snow hits the surface and begins to freeze and chill the surface quickly, and it'll allow snow to pile up on top of it, especially if it's heavy snow. If it's really heavy snow, you get inch an hour snow on a 38 degree temperature surface, that snow's going to hit the ground so fast, it's just going to start piling up on itself before it can melt as well. So this is a better situation. Snow effing sucks. Hey, everyone's got their thing. Would you mind telling me how much Fredericksburg, Virginia, why can't I read? Looks like it's going to get. Where are you out there in Fredericks? Where you at? Let's take a look. Right now, your expected is an inch. Let's take a look at what they give you on the high end. They give you 9.5 inches on the high end. So there you go. Oh, look at the quantitative precipitation forecast. This is interesting. This is interesting. Whoa. We know where we're going to have our 10-to-1 ratios. Oh, boy. I don't know why I didn't click on this earlier. This is what I'm talking about. We're talking about almost 2 inches of precipitable water. Now, some of this is going to be before it transitions into snow. I don't think much of it, though. I think a 20th of an inch is before this transitions into snow. Philadelphia, close to 2 inches of precipitable water at a 10-to-1 ratio is 20 inches of snow. That is why it matters so much how quickly we start our accumulation. Because that is enough precipitable water with a 10-to-1 ratio of snow, which is our lowest ratio. Well, you can technically go a little lower. That is enough precipitable water to get 20 inches of snow in Philadelphia. All right, let me see if this is actually going to show me. Come here, show me. Okay, here we go. I want to take a look at this. Okay, precipitable water, 2.5 inches. What's that at a 10-to-1 ratio? 25 inches of snow? 26 inches of snow, yeah. Baltimore, an inch of precipitable water. Yeah, 10 inches of snow, depending on where it transitions. Real nice. Yeah, I mean, this is heavy. This is a ton of precipitable water for a snowstorm. That is a ton. You can have these lighter greens out here. You see these lighter greens out here? You can get like 20 inches in these lighter greens. Imagine if our snow ratio is higher than expected out here in this 1 to 3 inch precipitable water zone. It'd be pretty crazy. Look at that. Wild. 2 inches around Philly. Yeah, that's 20 inches of snow at a 10-to-1 ratio if we can get it to transition over quickly. I don't think it's going to transition over that quickly. I'm just saying. That's what I was showing you the precipitable water earlier on the GraphCast or on the Euro, and that's actually a good. I didn't realize I could just pull it up here. This is exciting, guys. Who's excited? Yep, we've had major blizzards, major nor'easters in 96, 2006, 2016, now 2026. We went over this. Yep. And I said it before the stupid news channel said it and stole my content. I made a video to give credit. Someone in the stream said, well, I don't know if someone in the stream said something about 2006. And I was like, oh, yeah, we had a big storm in 2006. I said, did we have one in 2016? Oh, I said, well, yeah, we went in 2016. Whatever the person said in my stream made me start thinking about it. And then we figured out the block, because there's been other nor'easters, but the biggest blockbuster nor'easters have been 96, 06, 16. And so we were like, so we did that. And then I posted it. And 5 days later, my exact spiel, after me never hearing that, is on the news. And they got like a 500,000 likes. They saw my video, because my video got like 100,000 views, 150,000. They saw my video and they stole my content, guys. Yeah, they stole my content. There's no way. I'm on the weather side of TikTok and X. There's no way they didn't see it. It was so specific that we found that. We will fulfill the prophecy. You know what, guys? There it is. Screw the models. Screw the guidance. We must fulfill the prophecy. Okay? It's going to happen. Put your tinfoil hats on every 10 years on the 6th. Let's go. If this does happen, though, that's 4 straight years. But this would have to be blockbuster. We need GFS or NAM 12K totals. Because if this does do like the expected totals, this would be a nice nor'easter. A foot of snow up and down New Jersey, New York, New England coast. But it wouldn't be like a blockbuster nor'easter. We need closer to the high end for a blockbuster nor'easter. And there's, I'd say, higher than a 10% chance that happens. Usually the high end's 10%. I think it's higher than a 10%. Nancy, the real, I appreciate you guys. Winds. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, man. Veronica, thank you. Yeah, that's something we should talk about, isn't it? The next HRRR, by the way. We're getting the 00Z HRRR right now. Wait, are we actually? Okay, it's going to take a little bit while longer to load, but I think that's going to be really good for looking at the winds. Let's take a look at the winds on the Rufus, so. I like winds on the Rufus. All right, let's take a look at severe weather. No, okay, surface wind. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, let's push in. Let's dive in here. Let's get close. This is not... The Rufus has this a little farther off the coast, so it's not showing any sort of crazy winds here. But this actually isn't wind gusts. This is wind speeds. So this is... I mean, this isn't bad. This is 20 mile per hour sustained winds along the coast. But let's look at one of our... Let's see... let's go into the Euro. There you go. And this is, again, wind speed, not wind gusts. Let's take a look at wind gusts. So we're seeing... I mean, Long Island, we're seeing 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. And then up there, obviously through portions of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Man, the Cape could get smacked. Hurricane force gusts out there. Nothing crazy. I mean, this is pretty gusty. We're seeing gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour out through this region, possibly. If this thing comes any closer to the coast, though, those gusts are going to push way up. Now, once you get, and we talked about it yesterday, once you get to consistent 35 mile per hour gusts, this would be considered a blizzard. So I'm looking at this whole area in here for possible blizzard warnings. Consistent 35 mile per hour gusts, or no, is it 35 mile per hour sustained with 45 plus mile per hour gusts consistent? Oh my gosh. We literally reviewed this yesterday, guys. 1 second. Yeah, it's frequent gusts of at least 35 miles per hour. Okay, I was right. I just wanted to make sure. Frequent gusts of at least 35 miles per hour. So this whole area could get a blizzard warning according to the Euro. Now the GFS is probably going to be crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. This would be blizzard warnings for everyone. This would be blizzard warnings for everyone. We're talking about potentially hurricane force gusts into portions of New Jersey and Long Island as well. Delaware gets pretty windy there as well. Look at that. 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. I know it's only showing up to 51, but if we're talking about high end, you'd probably be up there 60, 65. Baltimore, D.C., I mean, if the GFS is correct, yeah, you get blizzard-like conditions, but the GFS is the furthest west right now. I wouldn't completely bank on that. Let's take a look at our NAM. Here's our NAM. The NAM is being extremely aggressive with winds as well. This would be all blizzard like. This would be blizzard. This would be a blizzard. Yeah. NAM 3K. Let's go look at our short range NAM. I actually have always liked the NAM 3K. I think it's been way better than the regular, but it's short range. So yeah, blizzard warnings up and down the coast here. If we see this, look, you can see like the eye of the hurricane. It's pretty impressive when you look at this developing on some of these short range models. What it sees. It's like you see this on the Rufus. Very impressive. Wow. I'm excited to see what the HRRR looks like. Yeah, 30. Well, sustained winds. Sustained winds. I mean, what does the GFS think for sustained? We can take a look at that. The GFS is obviously being the most aggressive here, but if you guys want to look at sustained winds, mods, I appreciate you guys. We're talking about through this region, 20 to 25. We'll say 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds are possible. That's sustained. So that's pretty impressive as well. What's the sustained on our NAM? Same type of thing here. pretty strong sustained winds. Once you get over 15 mile per hour sustained, things start to get a little ugly. And then you get up to 25 to 30 miles per hour. It's cooking. You're cooking. Chances it moves inland a little. It's a 50-50 at this point. We're getting down to the wire here. We're getting down to like the last 30 hours before it starts snowing. Models are wobbling back and forth, but the consensus is beginning to come in. How many is for Hudson County, New Jersey? Look at the eye on this, on the wind. Again, I don't know where Hudson County, New Jersey. Can you help me out with where that is? I can look it up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, is that Jersey City? Yeah. Use like broader language because then I can tell you quickly. I see purple. Okay, yeah, let's go back. I think we're going to get an update from the National Weather Service sooner than later here. I'm not exactly sure when they update. They're going to be updating this based off of, this is like their model. But again, I expect this to update. Let's take a look. You guys in that region, in that county, low end, ½ inch of snow. High end, you hit your high end, you're getting 21 inches of snow. I know that sounds crazy. You're expected as 9 inches. I'd actually put you closer to 10 to 12. I think a foot for expected. Copa, I appreciate you. Wilmington, Delaware. What do they have Wilmington, Delaware at right now? Yeah, I think they have you. I think they have you expected at 5 inches. I think they are, as I like to say, I don't think the NWS is on to something here. I think the NWS is on something. You guys are going to get more than 5 inches expected. You guys are going to get 10 plus, I think. 23 inches high end. I don't know if you're going to hit the high end, but. Why are all the low ends less than an inch? Because there's a few members of the models that the NWS trusts that it's running off of. A few members that are crushing this thing off the coast or keeping it just too warm. You know what? Let's look at that. You guys want to look at the panels? You want to look at all? Let's do that. This is like fun. Let's look at all of the members. Remember, when we're looking at all these models, right? If we look at the European, I know a lot of you know this, but if we're looking at the European and we look like this, okay, we're looking at the European model. This is just one run. There's 50 different runs. And the operational or control run is the run that the model thinks has the best starting data, the most accurate current data with what's going on in the atmosphere. But all the data is tweaked a little bit through 50 other runs in case that data is wrong to show what the other outcomes could be. And the operational run that we're looking at here is almost always not correct. It's always one of the other members, but the operational run is the best chance of being correct. Let's dive into this. You want to see all the possible insane outcomes? Because they're insane. They're insane. Let's look at them. I haven't looked at them actually, but I know they're going to be insane. There's going to be some wild ones here. All right. Let's I don't want to use that snow to the north. So let's do this in, that's fine. We'll do it like this. All right. Can I get, I don't think we're going to see totals here. Let's do northeast. Now, one thing is for sure. Do you guys notice something about all the members? Someone asked earlier, could this still be a fish storm? Do you guys think this is going to be a fish storm? Here's all the different outcomes from the Euro. Do you see any of these that are a fish storm? You know what? I'll almost guarantee you there's none of the other 25 show a fish storm too. Ready? Here's the other 25. Do you see any that are a fish storm? None. It's happening. So, okay, so here we go. Some of these, I'll just point out. The ones that look pretty crazy. This one right here has like 28 inches of snow in New York City. I'll tell you that. Mega snow for Boston on this one. Mega snow for Boston on this one. These all have good snow for everyone. This is big snow for New York City, Long Island, down New Jersey. Again, all these have big snow for these areas too, but I'm talking about the ones that look like we're getting 2.5 feet in some of these areas. Long Island, this is mega snow. Boston, mega snow here. Boston, huge snow. Boston actually has a ton of snow on a lot of these models. Boston's going to trend up in the expected heavily, I'd expect. Southern Jersey is still looking really good on a lot of these. Boston is going crazy. Central to Southern Jersey is going freaking crazy on these members. Once you get into the whites, again, we're talking over 2 feet of snow. Boston continues to show the potential for over 2 feet of snow. Anyone from Boston in my chat? Boston continue to show over 2 feet of snow. This is heavy snow right here. This is a whole swath of 1 to 2 feet. Boston, again, 2 feet of snow. Yeah. It's going to shut down some things in Boston, obviously, if we get that. This is Boston again. This is 1 to 2 feet up and down the I-95 corridor. Let's specifically, you know what would be interesting, specifically look at in some of these areas that we're not so sure about, right? So like a lot of people have questions in Maryland and Virginia. So, all right, so let's go member to member super quickly. We're looking 5 to 8 inches through Maryland here. We're looking over a foot through Maryland here. 5 to 8 inches here. We'll say 5 to 9 inches. Still 5 to 9 inches. We'll say like 3 to 7, 2 to 5, 4 to 5, 4 to 5, something like that. 4 to 5. Again, a big one here. A lot of these models. Let's look at the heavier snowfall models here for Maryland. This is big snowfall for Maryland. This is big snowfall for Maryland. We saw a couple of the bigger ones here. That's huge snowfall for Maryland. So there's some that still put a lot of snow down from DC to Baltimore. But there's some that cut off the snow a little bit. This member down here puts like a foot into Richmond, Virginia. Puts it way far to the southwest. I'm just showing you this because every now and then one of these members is more correct than the operational. It sees things better. It's just something interesting to look at. Some of these members do put a lot of snow down into Virginia. It's just they're outliers, but they're there and they're possible. A lot of these are DC and Baltimore are having a good day in a lot of these. We're not seeing any that are giving DC and Baltimore like 12 plus inches, but we're seeing a lot of members that are giving DC Baltimore like 7 to 10 inches, I would say, or 6 to 9, 7 to 10 inches. And then you have a couple that are burying DC and Baltimore. The GFS, I don't even know if we want to entertain the GFS here because the GFS is going to be crazy. I'm sure. Yeah, the GFS is wilding out. Yeah, the GFS is put in, like 2.5 feet into Delaware there. This is crazy. 2 feet into Philly, 2 feet into New York City. These members are wild. All right. It's crazy to see all this when we're this close. Sometimes you see, some of these crazy snow totals 4 to 5 days out and everyone's like, that's not going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. But we're getting pretty close here and it's very impressive what we're seeing. Someone said, what's going on 38? Was that in the Euro or was that in the GFS? Wait, now I have to go back. Was it in the Euro? It would have been in the Euro. It would have been 30. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 38. Well, you still get snow up and down the coast, but like exactly this member, you would get like very little, 2 to 4 inches through portions of New Jersey. But again, there's pretty much no other member here that shows that. You have some members that show lower snow, but the majority of them aren't doing that. This one has a little bit lower snow. A little bit lower snow here. A little bit lower. New Jersey looks fine on all of these. There seems to be a cutoff around Philly for some of these, but the majority of them still put good snow into Philly. Has the NWS updated this? Let's see. One second, everyone. I know a lot of people are asking about snow totals again. We'll push back out here, and I'll give you my opinion. Again, they haven't pushed up the expected snow totals from the NWS. Expect them to soon, though. So basically, you get what you get. I mean, I have an assumption in my head of what's going to happen. We'll go over that. I'll go over that in my video tomorrow too. But I gave like 6 to 9 inches in my video this morning. But you have to remember, that was before everything shifted even further west, and this deepened even more. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was trying to be conservative, and I was way too conservative this morning. Odds GFS is spot on, negative 5%. Are you shocked a nor'easter is actually happening? No. We've been in a nor'easter drought. We'll continue. We'll get back to the normal one nor'easter every year, one nor'easter every 2 years thing. You usually don't go this long without a nor'easter. If you look at the 100-year average, this has happened before. But these like 5-year droughts, but they come and they go, and then you start getting your nor'easters every year again. It's not very abnormal. Yeah, the longer you go breaking your 100-year average, the more likely you are to snap it. I was super confident going into this year with our setup. There were like 3 opportunities last year that got within 96 hours and still showed a mega nor'easter that faltered right at the end, but that's what happens sometimes. We could have had like 3 nor'easters last year. Just little tiny movements mess everything up at the end. We're pretty close here now, where we're going to get a big storm here. The question is this a blockbuster nor'easter or not? Because it's going to be a nor'easter. Newton, Connecticut. Where are you at? Along the coast? Just tell me. Yeah, listen. If you're in an area that I've never heard of, you just got to like South Central Connecticut, West Central, Southwest. Because I can't be looking up everything all stream. Did I find it? No, that's Newington. Middle? Here, let's do this. Let's take a reading out here. Near the middle of Connecticut. All right. We'll do Hartford first. High end 13. A little bit further south, high end 15. You've got like a 4 to 8 inches expected through Connecticut with the high end of 12 to 15 inches. Could see that go up though. Depends where you are on Long Island, but we're expecting a pretty good amount. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay? Give me 1 second. All right. Is Charlotte going to be impacted at all on Tuesday? We're going to have some. Let's pull this up here. You've got a little bit of. You've got some severe weather that we're going to see down here on Saturday, tomorrow. Some thunder showers maybe roll through Charlotte as we get into Sunday, but not much happening. Appalachia down there, Asheville up to Boone, could see a little bit of snow. What was the question, PB? Poconos. Depends where you are. Poconos are going to see some snow from this. It depends. I guess, are we talking about like up here? Let's see. Your highest elevation up in the Poconos, we're looking at maybe a foot on the high end. Expected 6 inches. Would it tilt earlier help DC? It would probably help everyone, yeah. Yeah. Pull cold air in quicker from the back, yeah. Yeah. It would. All right, listen, guys, I'll have another video out tomorrow on all of this stuff. All my updates, all the updates. And I'm going out with my wife tonight, but I will be streaming tomorrow night. And I'll have a video out in the morning, and I'll be giving you guys updates all day because this is big. This is big. Again, there's a possibility that people out here, there's a possibility, and I think it's going to happen, that some people out here see over 2 feet of snow anywhere from as far south as Baltimore all the way up through Boston. We'll see where the biggest pocket's going to be. Central to southern New Jersey looks great. Long Island looks great. New York looks like it's in a good spot. Philly, Boston, most of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Obviously, Delaware looks good. Maryland's a little bit of a question, but Maryland's been looking better and better. It's looking good. The trends have been great. And we get the HRRR. We get actually the HRRR may be fully loaded in now. The 00Z. It is. Oh, man. And there it is. And there it is. The HRRR agrees too. They're all agreeing. There's the HRRR. This is bringing our low right up the coast. This is where it stops, but there it is. I appreciate that. Josh, I appreciate that $10 super chat. That was really nice. I appreciate that. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs, guys. Appreciate any of the donos. You don't have to, but of course, I really appreciate it. Star map. Oh my gosh, TJ. Thank you, TJ. Thank you. Of course, just being in my streams helps. You watch a video, you like it. Anything helps. I'm trying to grow the channel, so I really do appreciate all you mods. You're awesome. Expect a video from me again tomorrow morning. Probably might be a little lengthy. I'm going to really try to get into details of specifically totals tomorrow. It might not be a video about everything. I'll probably do my 7 to 10 day forecast in it, but I'm going to be focusing on this storm, obviously. And we're going to be streaming tomorrow night. And I promise you, by tomorrow night, we're going to have a pretty good idea on if this is going to be a blockbuster or not, because it could be. Everyone, have a fantastic night.